From the Brayburn Salas Blue Link Studios, it's time for Tech Support with Tony. Hey class, good afternoon. Got an excellent show for you today. I'm going to go over a topic that I get a lot of calls about. Guys want to set up something or have questions about a compressor lockout or a compressor balance point, we call it. And this is something that can be done with some of our thermostats, certain models. So we're going to go over that today. First, let me pull in a little paperwork. It's going to help us. Compressor balance point or compressor lockout temp. What is it? Why do I need it? When do I use it? So the compressor balance point is used on dual fuel systems. This is something that you can set up on our thermostats. Requires an outdoor sensor. Often in the past, installers would use a fossil fuel kit to achieve this. Well, you don't need that fossil fuel kit. You can do this directly with our thermostat and an outdoor temperature sensor. And the compressor balance point is for dual fuel systems where you have a heat pump as your primary heat source and a gas furnace as your secondary or backup auxiliary heat. A compressor lockout is a situation for this dual fuel setup. Two sources of heat, one from a heat pump, one from your gas furnace. We do have to have an outdoor sensor. Today I'm going to be using our model 4030 as the example thermostat, and this requires our sensor model 5490. This is a wired sensor that will get wired to the thermostat base, and I'll show you that in a few moments. That's all you need to set up a compressor lockout or a balance point. We refer to it as a balance point. This is model specific, so only certain models are capable of this. Our Premier series, some of our legacy stats, older model 5020s, 3020s, 5220s, 6000 series, 5310, any model that would have a terminal labeled S1 and S2, you should be able to set up a compressor balance point. Compressor balance point represents an outdoor temperature at which, when below, the compressor will be shut off and locked out of use. So with many heat pumps, as the outdoor temperature drops, you get to a point where the heat pump does not provide you the same level of heat that it does at warmer temperatures. Maybe at 32 degrees Fahrenheit or maybe 20 degrees Fahrenheit. You will get to a point where the heat pump would be running but not really providing enough heat to sufficiently warm the house. So that would be a point at which you would want to lock out the compressor and transition to your gas furnace for a secondary heat source. And we can do this in the thermostat installer menu. We can dictate a certain temperature that we have determined that would be ideal for locking out the heat pump. Now this is going to be a different number depending on your heat pump, your application, your home. This is going to vary from manufacturer to manufacturer. Some cold weather pumps can generate heat as low as 0 degrees. Some of the new modern heat pumps. So this might not be applicable for every application, but certainly it's something that you want to look at. And if you need that functionality, you can do that with our thermostats. If the outdoor temperature is below the set balance point, then your heat call will be sent to the secondary heat source. When it calls for heat, rather than turning on the heat pump and waiting for your thermostat to stage up and then bring on the secondary heat, we're just going to lock out the heat pump right off the get-go and go straight to the furnace as your heat source. So, for example, if you set that to 32 degrees, if the outdoor temperature is 25, when your thermostat starts calling for heat, rather than start up the heat pump first and then transition to the gas furnace, it's just going to go straight to the furnace. So this is what we call a balance point. We're going to balance between when the heat pump is still capable of generating heat and when it loses that capability based on outdoor temperature. That's why you need the outdoor temperature sensor. So I have a thermostat wired up here, and we're going to turn this around so you can see it. This is our model 4030 thermostat, and I have wired, this is the outdoor temperature sensor. It's just simply a temperature probe at the end of a wire, and this would be placed outside, probably near your compressor unit, to get an outside temperature, and it gets wired to the thermostat base on the S1 and S2 terminals. That provides us with information on the outdoor temperature. Let's put this back on here. Now, to set up your balance point, we need to go into the installer menu of the thermostat. These thermostats have two menus, a user menu and then an installer menu. We're looking for the installer menu, and to access that menu, we're going to press the menu button and hold it down until you see the screen change. Usually takes about 5 seconds. And the first item up is going to indicate your mode. You have two options, residential or commercial. Doesn't really matter. And then we have a next button here that we can press that will take us through some of the various options in our installer menu. Next, programming level 7 days, clock format 12 hours, Fahrenheit degree format, auto change functionalities currently set to off. This next one is important. We need to choose a heat pump, multi-stage heat pump setting in order to even use a compressor balance point. You're not going to have a compressor balance point for a conventional gas furnace system. So right now this is set up for one heat, one cool conventional. If we use our arrow key, we can change to a one heat, one cool heat pump system, but we need a 2 heat, 1 cool heat pump system so that we have 2 stages. First stage is your heat pump, second stage is your gas furnace. Now we can press next and go through more of the installer menu. First stage differential, second stage differential, emergency fan electric. We want to change this to gas because we have a gas furnace as our backup. Next, auto auxiliary finish set to no. We're going to leave that. Reversing valve type, it's either O or B depending on the brand of your heat pump. Auxiliary heat, this is default set to electric, but of course we have a gas furnace, so we're going to switch that to gas. Compressor power out of protection set to off. Power monitor set to off. Compressor short cycle 5 minutes. Circulating lock for the fan is set to off. Recover set to off. This has to do with a user lock level. Dry contact is off. Now right here, this is our balance point setting. And initially it's going to say no balance point. We do not have a balance point set up. And we use our up and down arrow key. We can change this to a number, 1 degree, 2 degrees, 3 degrees, whatever we determine. Now if we set that to 27 degrees, that's going to be our compressor balance point. That means anytime the outdoor temperature is registering less than 27 degrees, the heat pump compressor will be locked out of service, and any heat call will go straight to your gas furnace. You can hit the return button to exit from the menu. When you have that outdoor sensor connected, your display is going to show you what your outdoor temperature is right here. Outdoor right now it says 70, and our room temperature is 70 because it's all in this same room. There's no difference. But if that outdoor sensor was outside, this reading would be much colder because it would be giving us the outdoor temperature. That is how we set up a compressor balance point on this model. It's very similar on some of our older legacy models. The menu structure is a little bit different, but the concept is the same. Go to our website. You can get the installer manual for your model. In that manual will indicate the installer menu chart, which will show you all those options that we went through and more, and where you can find that compressor balance point. So again, you need an outdoor temperature sensor, model 5490. Our newer thermostats, like a 4030 or 4235, set up just like that. Older models, 5020, 5220, 3020, 3220, all have this feature where you can use an outdoor sensor to set up a compressor balance point. And that would be used, again, to lock out your compressor when your outside temperature has fallen below a threshold that you have determined is ideal for your system. If you have any questions, you can always call tech support, talk straight to me. I will guide you through some of this. You'll find the tech support phone number in the video description. Tech lines are open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 Central Time. Good talking to you.